Uh,
I like Tom just goes, I just need to be close to the floor. I just need to be
yeah, was he trying to
on the
sleep like
ground.
underneath Glenn's bed or next to Glenn's bed? And
Yeah.
Glenn's like, no, like go sleep in the wherever the crew eats their like lunch and stuff. Yeah,
I will ask you this, Sean. Was Tom the drunkest a guy's ever been in front of his boss on the first day of work?
I would hope so.
It's got
Probably
to be,
not though,
right?
man. If you ever watch like Bar Rescue or some of these shows, people out there in America are a mess. But but yeah, as far as like maybe in the history of Below Deck though,
Yeah.
he was puking pretty uncontrollably. I don't want to say that off the top of my head, but yeah,
I mean,
he went hard.
yeah, and it's day one. I don't think anyone on Below Deck. I don't think Legacy ever goes hard night one. Med, I don't remember anything. Like it. This has got to be it.
It's definitely yeah. Yeah, I mean, he Glenn's okay with it. The next day he says to clean out the bathroom.
Yeah.
Glenn was probably so if you puke in like in a room, right, and you don't do a good job cleaning it in one of those like cabins, it's gonna smell all night.
Yeah.
I had a roommate puke in college and didn't clean it up. And then the next morning I was so mad.
Dude, that's like the worst.
It was the worst smell in the world. It took like 2 days to get rid of.
Let's talk about
who else we got?
Glenn obviously calling, he gets up after this and he shuts it down, right? John Chaffert style, like you said, right? Second bar rescue reference, right? So this was like a very underrated spot where Daisy just goes, "Oh, can we just finish our beers?" He's like, "No."
Daisy was, yeah. That's why, like, he'll never be in a like authoritarian. It's because like that's not his relationship with Daisy and Gary. Yeah, he goes on deck. He goes, "Gary, like, you want to do something, bud?" But yeah, Daisy was going so hard. She was drinking, like right before he came out, she was drinking out of a Don Julio bottle.
Dude, tequila right out of the bottle. I think, like, I'm not saying that's a move, but I think I got to move more towards tequila in the next couple of months. I think that's my move.
Irish people, man. And she like was fine the next day too. We give Gary all this credit for never getting hungover. Daisy never does, it seems like.
Daisy's a seasoned vet though. She's a pro.
Yeah. And then, we kind of missed this. I loved earlier before Tom started puking when he was on deck. Daisy just like sits on him and starts hitting him in the face. It's like I used to do this to my sister. That was she's the best.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that there's like a tier for the new cast, like Ashley and Tom have like the most promise, but we've got a couple other people here which maybe didn't shine overly bright this episode, but we'll see what happens with Gabriella. So Gabriella is the second stew. Seems like she's got a little bit more experience. She's got a lot of bartending experience, but also I remember Daisy's just saying like this crew was good, like met her expectations as far as cleaning up the very first time. So maybe this is going to be a strong deck crew or stew crew this year.
Yeah, Gabriella seems cool. She's got a chill vibe to her. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, almost kind of reminds me of like I'm not trying to replace everybody person for person, but like a little bit of like Danny last year, right? Little like
I can see that. Yeah,
subdued, but like part of the conversation.
Oh yeah.
Sean, what'd you think? There was something that happened at the very end of the episode there where the crew, I guess the charter guest comes up to her.
The primary.
Yeah, the primary. Like
was McCordia his name? I think I missed it.
Yeah. And obviously inappropriate, was creepy. You're not supposed to, they're not if I'm working on a yacht, I don't want to be harassed like this. I hope it de-escalates the next episode, but I'm not sure yet.
Weird, because like that he was a gay guy too.
Yeah.
He says, "I don't like women." Yeah, no, that it was weird. There are some people when they get drunk to just turn into like weirdos, and it's the worst.
Yeah.
That he might be that guy. Yeah, she handled it well though. and where like she's not like being like over the top, like yelling back at him, but like also not giving him an inch either.
Yeah,
So
it's a fine line to walk there, right? I mean, this person's paying a lot of money to rent this boat, but you got to stand up for yourself at the same time.
yeah, no, she's handling it well. Guys just gotta sleep. I think at that moment you would almost, I mean, I don't know, you're trying to think on your feet. You need to get like one of the other guests to be like, hey, get him. Like
Yeah, I
we
think
don't
they
want to
all
be the
went to
ones that
bed
put him
pretty
to
much.
bed. Yeah, but
Yeah,
like it's like he's the primary. It's weird look if like I get like another guy and like force him into bed, like you have to go to sleep then. Like it's kind
yeah,
of better if a guest does it. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Weirdo though, dude. Like go to bed.
yeah. Look, a little sticky situation that she shouldn't be put into, but um, you know, she's a good addition to the cast. I'm glad she's there. Sean, we've got the last deckhand here, Kelsey.
Hmm.
Um, looks like a legit deckhand. She doesn't look very green at all. Looks like she's a skipper on her own, like small boat. So she knows her stuff. I think she's going to be strong for Gary. And Sean, correct me if I'm wrong, but they only have two deckhands for sailing out historically, because
Yeah.
Gary kind of takes that role of like the bosun, even though he's the first officer, kind of that hybrid role that we've seen recently. So
Yeah. I guess it makes sense because docking is not gonna be as tough because it's not as big as like the motor yachts, and then no slides.
yeah, they don't, but they still have like it's got the naughty boys, but
Yeah,
yeah, no
but
slide. So
yeah, I imagine it's mostly like a docking thing where you don't need as
yeah,
many people to tie it down and stuff.
yeah,
Yeah. So Kelsey, we really got very little of her, other than
yep.
when she was flossed with her hair.
That was weird, man. That was weird.
Yeah, she's cool. Like she's a little tomboyish, as she described herself. I like how she just went to a yacht week in Croatia with her friend.
I've heard about this yacht week. Apparently, it's
I want to go too.
unbelievable.
Why
Yeah,
haven't they invited us yet? I was like,
we're there's a VIP list we're not on yet. Yeah,
that's weird. We need like press passes. But
yeah,
and then she was like, oh, that's cool, and the rest is history. I'm interested in more. We'll see. I don't know if she'll like be a flirt with anyone else, but you never know.
yeah. Hopefully, I think she'll kind of blossom here very shortly. Sean, so let's talk about Marcos a little bit. So, guy seems legit. He knows what he's doing. Strong first episode. Looks like he's a step up from Natasha. Seemed to need to like plump up his dishes a little bit, like size wise, because the guests were still a little hungry. But at the same time, they were satisfied. They were happy. The communication with Daisy and the other stews went well. So, everything's looking up for Marcos.
He's a cool guy. He like he doesn't like sweat. When he found out when they needed more food, he wasn't freaking out or anything. That shrimp like really good that he just whipped up that fast. And then like he obviously had extra count up his. I know he impressed Daisy early on with like the hors d'oeuvres. She's like, this is what I'm used to. And like Gary and Colin, who weren't huge Natasha people last year, either were like, yeah, this guy's good. Like he knows what he's doing. So it's cool. It's kind of like he's not Rachel yet or anything, but like he's solid. So he's from Venezuela, but lives in LA and has a food truck.
Yeah, that's
Very
pretty
cool.
sweet.
Very cool.
I feel like he should have like let Rachel use it for a little while he was on charter, right?
Yeah, right. They should like timeshare it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we need to buy that bus.
Yeah. But his food seemed good. I like him. I think he's a good addition. And sky's the limit for this guy. I think he's already like a step above Matt and Natasha, who we've seen recently.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So Sean, we'll talk a little bit about the guests here. I know we talked about one of them, the primary, but the rest of the guests, they seem fun, easygoing. Primary obviously had the, out of line with Gabriella, but I hope that de-escalates in the next episode. So we'll see what happens with these guests. They didn't get a ton of airtime, but they seem fun for now.
Yeah, no, they're cool. There is one of them was wearing a shirt that said like thick thick thighs, thin patience. That's a great like boardwalk t-shirt.
Yep.
Yeah, anything else? I mean, because we kind of covered a lot of it. I mean, Ashley, there's a lot on Ashley.
Yeah, I think that we're going to be spending a good amount of time talking about Ashley here the next couple of weeks, but I think we pretty much covered the episode. Well, we're going to see what happens here. I did see that the coming up this season on Sailing Yacht, like I didn't do like a matrix of like who kisses who, but the damn thing looks like a spider web if I did. Right? Like everybody's kind of making out with everybody.
And the Daisy Gary relationship is kind of that's kind of what we're waiting for if it's real.
Yeah.
Which I think it is.
Could be.
Yeah. So I'm very excited for it too.
Yeah. I will say towards the end of the episode though, so Gary and Colin help with the dishes. Daisy was very happy. So that could be the difference between, a not successful season and a successful season.
Oh, Johnny, what we didn't talk about was Colin calling that meeting between him, Daisy, and Gary, and brought up the dishes. Like, he's like, if we do everything the same as we did last year, we'll get the same result. And Gary's like, yeah, that's good. And as a viewer, I'm like, I agree, actually. But Colin's like, yeah, but you could have helped the girls more with the dishes. And it's like, hey, guys got a point. Yeah.
Yep. No, I think it would be appropriate to have like an OG meeting every once in a while, Hey, Sean, there was one more thing I want to bring up as my honorable mention here. There was a point where Tom, he's meeting Colin and he goes, oh, do you prefer call or Colin? And I'm like, the hell's a call? Sean, do you know any calls?
Where is Tom's from? I represent the northern hills of England. So maybe he, I don't know, might be different.
Calls up there. Yeah. But maybe he was just nervous, but like that was just a dumb question.
I feel like England has as many different accents as America. Like the different regions of England, like London, Liverpool, Manchester, then wherever Tom's from, like the hills.
Yeah.
There's just like different, it's I mean, I guess it makes sense, but it's for such a small island, a lot of different accents.
Would people from England get offended if you called it an island?
I think it is. Ooh,
yeah, but it's a kingdom too, right?
Yeah, and I guess it's attached to Wales and it's attached to other countries. I used to be really good at geography.
Yeah.
It's attached to Wales and Scotland.
Yep.
So it's not really an island. That's true.
No.
The British Isles. Yeah.
There you go. Sean, so let's go into who won and who lost the episode. So how about you do the honors?
All right. My winner is Gary. I think it's pretty cool to have a girl who is as physically attractive as Ashley to make out with her. Like, I know all the other stuff. I know he didn't want to do it and he's trying to be more professional this year, which I hope he doesn't. But
I mean, he's not, right?
He already isn't. Yeah. Or he's trying not to do it on the first night. And like, so if that happens to you in life, that's pretty cool. I don't care about the situation.
Yeah.
Especially with like, she basically says Tom's more her type, like looks wise, right? She's into the blonde hair, blue eyes. But because Tom isn't 10 years older than her, that guy's a loser. That guy's a baby. And
yeah, I mean, Ashley even goes as far to say like, she's like, I think Gary would be good in bed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Like I think you win the episode that way. And I don't know. Gary's great. Gary's great for the show. So I had Gary winning. Jen, how about you?
I had the viewers winning, Sean. We all won this. This is great.
It's true.
We've got our core three plus Glenn back together. Plus now they've added Ashley. Tom seems like a wild card. I'm sure he's gonna stop throwing up at some point. And then Gabriella, Kelsey, and Marcos. Like, it seems like a very solid crew. You don't need like 8 stars on the boat. That just doesn't work. You need some role players. And I think we got a good mix of this.
Yeah, I think like some seasons the chef does drive the